Let's go back to President Biden. For all five of you, and I'll call on you again. What, if anything, do you like about him?
Yeah, I'm struggling to think of something.
I honestly can't think of one thing.
Flip side, let's go to former President Trump. What do you like about him?
Nothing.
Okay.
I second that.
He got stuff done, whether it was good or bad, he got it done.
Let's go back to President Biden. What, if anything, do you dislike about him? For all five of you.
He lost my trust with the Hunter Biden situation, or at least the way that I understand it. Didn't like the way that he behaved as a grandfather. I didn't like the fact that he appears weak and unable to make decisions on a world policy level.
I don't like the student loan forgiveness because I never had student loans and I've paid off my wife, so it kind of feels like I did all the work to go to college and my wife's got a bachelor's and master's and it's all paid for by us. So it feels like I did that feels like he's just trying to buy votes.
Let's go back to former President Trump. What, if anything, do you dislike about him?
I think he's very selfish and egotistical.
I think at the beginning, there was the hope that he was, I guess, somewhat of an outsider in politics, but I feel like after his first term, he's very much in that. And I find him to be almost a bully. I felt like he eliminated so much of his staff so often. It's almost like that he ran the country like the TV show that he was a part of. You're fired, just very much a character. And one I didn't really like. And I would have to say that I lost a lot of respect for him over the January 6th scenario.
So among the four of you who plan to vote for RFK Jr., what I'd like to know is, this is a little bit of a subtle question. Is it more of a vote for Kennedy because you like him? Or if it's more of a protest vote against both Biden and Trump?
In my case, I would say it's proactive. I've watched his videos. I've seen his talks. I have looked on his campaign website and looked at the policy things. And granted, I don't agree with 100%. Some things concern me, but in a lot of ways, I support what he claims to stand for.
I was looking for a different candidate from the two because I knew that I had problems with those two. So I started researching my other options, and I feel really good about voting for Kennedy.
Carissa, what's attractive to you about RFK Jr.?
What I like about him is his stand on, he recognizes that the middle class is slowly but surely going away, and that it's always been a gap in the economy, but now it's just like you're either poverty or you're part of the 1%.
He just seems like he stands for change. Seen what Trump can do, we've seen what Biden can do. The idea of something new.
It's a combination of both. I have looked into his policies and they seem, fairly in line with what I think, how the country should be ran. But it's more so, I feel like if there were other better candidates out there, then I probably wouldn't give him as much as attention as he's getting right now.
Got it. Dave, what about you?
Yeah, I'm probably a 50-50 protest and for Kennedy. A lot of his policies I don't agree with, but so that's kind of the protest side, but I do like him as a person and think he's probably at least thinking more about the people and not just about himself.
Got it. Okay, so work with me on this. Explain this to me. If you don't think that he has a realistic chance, why are you throwing your vote away? Explain to me.
Why would I? Well, even okay, just because it's not some people might feel like it's not a realistic chance. Doesn't mean that I'm still not gonna let my vote be heard. I'm not voting for two people who I don't want to vote for just because, oh, it's not a chance that he's not gonna win.
I just have always felt I need to vote for the candidate that I want to win, not so much as it's not even like I want this candidate, but in the two parties, right? So many people are voting against the other one. They're voting for the lesser of two evils. And I just don't want to be that person. I want to actually research and learn. And I want to vote for the person in my conscience I truly want to win, even if they don't have a chance.
By a show of fingers, who plans to watch the debate Thursday night between Trump and Biden? 4 of you do. David does not.
Well, I'm a maybe, but
What do you expect to learn from watching?
The competency level of Joe Biden.
This is going to sound awful, but it might be slightly entertaining. I want to see how they do.
I'm honestly gonna watch it just to see two grown kids go head to head and insult each other, because that's what they've always done. That's what Trump did last year, that he was insulting people left and right. So I plan to get popcorn, get myself some wine, and watch two kids argue on TV.
kind of sometimes feels like I got better things I can do than to watch something I kind of feel like the train wreck that's already going to happen. So it's almost like Sherry said, it's like whether Trump's going to be over the top or Biden's going to melt, going to have a brain meltdown. I don't, not really interested in watching that.
I have better things to do. I'm not going to sit here and watch two old, senile, delusional men go back and forth with one another, throwing jabs at each other's parties. I can care less about what Biden and Trump has to say.
Would any of you say there's a modest chance that this debate might change your mind about whom you'll vote for?
No.
No.
Hell no.
I want to discuss the Trump hush money trial that recently took place in New York. By a show of fingers, who thinks former President Trump should serve jail time for those felonies? 3 of you do. Janelle, why?
What makes him better than everyone else who've committed the same crimes and are put in prison for that, or even much less than what he's committed? I think he should serve time he's not entitled, even though he thinks he is.
Also, that the fact that they're talking about his punishment could be something as simple as house arrest. Absolutely not. That's like bribery. So why wouldn't he have to go to prison like everybody else?
Why not? Charles?
I guess none of them seem serious enough to be, thrown into federal prison.
Anybody else? What? 34 felonies, just playing devil's advocate here. Sounds pretty serious to me. You wouldn't give him any jail time? None of you would give him jail time?
Well, it didn't seem like real charges. I mean, it just seemed like something they were trying to, almost seemed like the jury was almost rigged. They were going to convict him, no matter what.
I don't think it would serve any purpose. I think a better punishment for him would be financial. Take his money, make him pay a $10 million fine. I just don't know what a week in jail is going to do other than create more polarization with everybody in the U.S.
I think that all of these presidents have shown to be womenizers, and all things have gone on behind the scenes that come out later. And this is just another example of something that I think is being used against him during this campaign. But I mean, I don't agree with it, but at the same time, I think it's blown way out of proportion. I do not believe he deserves jail time.
I mean, if you probably couldn't throw a rock in Congress that somebody hasn't paid hush money to somebody, and where the money came from, and whether they did it legally or behind closed doors, or whether they're private money or with the campaign money or what. It's kind of, I just think it's like they went for something for him that they thought they could convict him of more than an actual crime.
For one, he's not going to go to the same prison as a normal citizen. He's going to go to one that's a little bit more upscale where people of his ranking will be placed. And two, if he gets locked up, lock all of them up, because all of them have the same charges. They're all dirty.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.